All right, so I'm going to talk about Terra Fina. I'm blessed to have two other Terra Fina people with us here at the conference. Dwayne Bowman with Soilcraft from Washington is one of our board members. And Nate Gray, who you'll hear tomorrow, is also with Terra Fina. We envision communities of small-scale farmers and small-scale entrepreneurs flourishing with a biblical worldview. We design practical training to confront false ideas that preclude abundant life. As co-learners, we find and work with key community influencers, empowering people to address root causes of all forms of poverty. And I wish I had 2 hours to sit down and discuss this with you, because every word in there I'm passionate about. But we're co-learners, and I hope at this conference you learn something that helps you. We have 4 main programs. We have the Salt Savings Program in Haiti. We have 2 AgriPlus programs in Haiti. And we have the Terra Fina Agricultural Resource Group. The savings groups are groups of people, 30 to 85 people that meet every 2 weeks. They have a lesson on spiritual, business, family, and they also deposit money and take out loans from the group at that meeting. All at the meeting, transparent. In Haiti, we have 745 groups with 38,000 members, 5 regional offices, 58 facilitators, and last year together, those 38,000 people saved an equivalent of $4.7 million. Haiti
alone?
Haiti alone. That's an average about $58 per person. All right? So, some of why that's extremely successful is it's access to capital for small merchants. If they did it from a loan shark, they would be paying maybe 100% interest. But here, they're one of the stockholders in the group, so they're making money. They're making interest on the interest they pay back on their loan. All the interest stays in the group. It's also a way to save. We have no idea how hard it is to save in poor countries, because anybody that gets sick, anybody that comes to ask you, you're obligated as a family member to help that person. But when the money's not in your hand, the money's in the group, you don't have access to it, so you can save it. What we really like about the Salt Savings Program is the attitude when it's done. We did microloans, which was loaning money from stateside people to Haitians, and that you always had kind of this idea, thank you, Salt. Hope we can get a loan again next year. I'm going to tell you 2 stories. One is a guy that at the end of the first year, when he was handed his envelope, because every year they divide out all the money, it's transparent. So at the end of the first year, when he was given his envelope of his money, he said, no, that's not my money. There's no way I saved that much money. Because he would never have been able to save that money without the savings group. And that was just really empowering for him to be able to know that he did it. With the help of the other people in this group, he was able to save the money, and he had his own money with dignity to be able to go and do what he needed to do. The other story was one of the missionary kids was riding a borrowed bicycle, and he went past a group of kids, and they asked to borrow the bicycle from him, and he said, no, he can't loan it to them because it's a borrowed bicycle. And they said, well, you need to join a Salt Savings Group so that you can save up money to buy your own bicycle. That's just some pins of where the Salt Savings Groups are in Haiti. A couple pictures there of meetings. All right, and then we have the AgriPlus programs. We have 2 of them. I'm going to talk about one tomorrow, so I won't talk about the AgriPlus too much today. Just want to emphasize that most farmers in I'm over time. Most farmers in poor countries, their yields are very low. In Haiti, the average yield for black beans is threefold. You plant 1 gallon can of black beans and you harvest 3. That is an acceptable yield. And that's a lot of times what it is when we start working with them. Oftentimes the farmers are the poorest people in the population. Everybody else looks down on them. Yields have been dropping drastically for 3 generations. If you ask Grandpa, or you ask any farmer how the yields were in Grandpa's time, he'll talk about when they harvested so much they couldn't even finish harvesting it. Dad's time was less, and now it's hardly anything. And so that kind of creates this fatalistic mindset. If you had 3 generations of watching yields drop and everything you tried, the yields didn't get better, wouldn't that give you a little bit of a hopelessness? So in the East program, which is where I lived, we're now working with 2,400 farmers in 62 villages, and I have a team of Haitian guys there that are probably about now coming back from work. They were out there teaching farmers today. And this is, I just wanted to show this on the 10-year vision, and I know you can't read it, but one of the things that my guys, my Haitian technicians, wanted to put in the 10-year goals is that the people would know that the ground can produce. They want the people that we're working with to have hope. All right, so the last part of our organization is the Terra Fina Ag Resource Group. And for any of you that are working in developing countries with small-scale farmers, I would love if you would pay attention to this. We partner with mission agencies and individuals worldwide who are working with smallholder farmers to teach biblical applications of improved agricultural management practices. We help equip our partners with tools through networking, mentorship, and sharing of informative resources as an effort to develop a greater resilience in the lives of smallholder farmers. Together, we seek to glorify God as we work towards discovering abundant life, improving community food security, increasing families' nutrition, and caring for His creation. So we partner with SALT for the AgriPlus projects. We partner with SDS, as Earl mentioned. We have other organizations that we partner with. MGM, Mennonite Gospel to Haiti is here. Jason Good. We partner with them. And we're ready to partner with other organizations. Just a few things about agricultural development is it's hard. And it takes time. We have to get rid of the 1W service, 1 year, 2 year mission commitment ideas if we want to do agricultural development. It's a minimum of 7 years, even with a language that's easy to learn. If you have a hard language to learn, or if you have to learn 2 languages, add all that time on there. You need to learn how to learn. That's one of the biggest things for us as Americans. We go somewhere, we think we have ideas. The first thing we have to do is learn how to learn. You need a learner's attitude. So we have a WhatsApp group for active agricultural development workers. And when Dean was talking this morning, I was like, we need to get Randall on there. And guess what? Randall's already on there. We have a newsletter that we're just starting for people that are interested. So if you're here and you're interested in agricultural development with smallholder farmers, but you're not like actively going to go, sign up at our PR table or go to terrafina.org and sign up for the newsletter. So we believe it's an opportunity. We believe that we can show who God is by what He's created. Like Brian talked about, in restricted contexts where you can't overtly talk about God's attributes. You can show who He is by the things He's created. And we believe that farming in accordance with the Creator's design gives farming systems that are sustainable and regenerative. A lot of the world's soils, the reason for those dropping yields are erosion, loss of organic matter, changing climate conditions. And if we farm in accordance with God's design, we can change that. Okay, sorry, I already said that. And that leads to hopelessness, fatalism, loss of dignity whenever your yields keep dropping. We believe that restoring soil health is key to improving small-scale farmers' crop yields. And improving crop yields, coupled with a message of the Creator's love, will give hope and dignity to combat the false worldview of fatalism. It's not the only false worldview, but we believe that restoring soil health, which will actually improve yields. I was talking about that with somebody earlier. When you're teaching agricultural development, you actually have to improve yields. Farmers aren't going to be interested in what you're teaching if yields don't improve. So you actually have to improve yields. And if you couple that with the message of the Creator's love and understanding who we are as image bearers, goes a long way. So is God calling you to share his love with the developing world's 2 billion rural people who are small-scale farmers? Many of them are poor. Many of them are hungry, just like we're not going to eat tonight. All right, any questions?
So you have these programs ongoing, helping the people, the small-scale farmers currently in Haiti.
Yes, yes. So they're run by Haitian technicians that we've trained. So I was there about 5 years. Due to country conditions, I lived about 10 miles from where the CAM missionaries were kidnapped. And so we decided to reevaluate, and my guys were at a place where I could leave and they could keep going. And I just go visit them, I WhatsApp them.
How much are they impacted by the political unrest and the gang violence, the people that you work with?
So right now, in the south where we work, is actually better than it's been in a little while. Port-au-Prince is a mess. Avoid Port-au-Prince at all costs. In the area where I am, right by the Dominican border, it's good now, but it's a little bit tentative because over Christmas and then about 2 weeks ago, the gangs did try to take over the neighboring town, which is kind of like the gateway to where we live. And if the gangs would take over, it'd be terrible. But the local vigilant groups, the local, they're not non-resistant, they're the good bad guys. They were able to keep the gangs out. Yes, yes. Some pretty big guns in our town. Any more questions?
Do you see any vision, or have any vision of doing any projects in the U.S. sometime?
No. There's a lot of people working in the U.S., a lot of resources available. We're pretty focused on the small-scale farmer that is hungry. Sorry. How do you define a small-scale farmer? As long as you're growing one plant, you're big enough to be a small-scale farmer. One person growing one plant. You can be in the middle of Chicago and have a pepper plant that you're harvesting, and you're a small-scale farmer.
In your world, you work with people, what do you call small scale? 10 acres, 5 acres?
No, most of them will be 2 hectares or less, mostly by hand. Appropriate technology, we're not taking tractors in, things like that. Subsistence farmers. That would be, we network with anybody, but that would be our focus. All right, thank you all very much. I'll be around, and you have to bear with me again tomorrow.